There are two confidence surveys out this afternoon, Braden, from the RMB BER section and, of course, the Business Chamber SACCI's out as well. Both are showing the indexes with confidence levels at, two-year highs, just pre-COVID-19. It's encouraging, especially when you look at the the GDP figures, rather, that came out earlier this week. The point is whether or not we can see some translations into jobs. More on that story in the moment, but let's pick it up here on those GDP figures. Mining has been a stellar performer, helping lift GDP growth to better than expected levels in the first quarter. The economy's annualized 4.6% growth came largely on the back of higher commodity prices and exports. Mining production growing by 18% in the first 3 months of the year. So what is the spin-off for jobs and development of smaller enterprises, for instance? Well, Minerals Council South Africa Chief Economist Henk Langenhoven joins us. Henk, thanks very much for your time. So those GDP numbers very welcomed, especially the mining sector's contribution. How are the commodities being in high demand was a huge factor here. How long do you pencil this demand and related prices to last so that we can see this effect coming from the mining industry more often?
Look, statistically it can't go on the increases, but hopefully it will stay at, the commodity prices will stay at where they are. There's no reason to believe that world demand, and that's really what it's about, economic growth, world economic growth and demand for these commodities will taper off for any shock reason. There's huge demand in the East. The Americans are growing, although we're not exporting a lot to them. But the prices, and just by the way, it's about 20% up to April, May in dollar terms, and 15% in rand terms for us, the important commodities that we export, because the rand strengthened a little bit. But there's no immediate reason why it wouldn't last for a while. How long is a piece of string.
Henk, when you look at those numbers and just ordinary people looking at those GDP numbers, seeing what mining has done, I suppose one of the great spin-offs is the fact that the mining industry can now make more meaningful tax contributions that helps the coffers. But the Minerals Council has often spoken about the industry's multiplier effect on gold, of mining, for example, on industries, on small businesses down the value chain. To many people, that will be a significant meaning of this good showing. When do we see really good performance translating into enterprise development and jobs here?
Devin, it's again a difficult question. I mean, if you look at gross fixed capital formation, which is really has to happen to expand and to employ more people and to buy more from the economy so that you get that spin-off, that has declined by 11% last year. And we don't have higher frequency numbers now. Overall, the GDP, gross fixed capital formation for the economy declined again in the first quarter. So it depends on let me start at a different point. The higher commodity prices have given the mining companies some leeway, some headway to actually recover, which is not necessarily been translated into production. This 18% number, you must remember, that it's a seasonally adjusted number. If you look at the plain number, it's just something like 4%. But the seasonally adjusted number is a highly complex thing to do. And if you think we had a minus 22 number first quarter last year, and then a minus 71, and then a plus 270, and then a minus 6. So the 18 is for me, I mean, it's not to sniff at, absolutely. But it's not the important one. The important one is that we are actually now growing per month better slightly than we did in 2019 and before the COVID lockdown.
Henk, if I can come in there, I think what you're saying is that there needs to be a sustained recovery for a longer time for those job spin-offs to happen. I've got a few seconds left. I just want to get your quick point. Stage 4 load shedding, of course, there's certainty that's being rattled now, I would imagine, on the investor point of view. Your quick comments, I mean, the stage 4 load shedding for the sector, what does that mean, very quickly?
It is actually serious. It will constrain production. We have been asked by Eskom to cut over the winter period by something like 40%. hasn't been, it's a discussion request, that is actually quite serious because, and that immediately brings into jeopardy the sustainability of this benefit of the prices coming through into production. In short, that's what it means.
We're going to have to leave it there. Thanks very much indeed. That's the Chief Economist there from Minerals Council, Henk Langenhoven. Braden.